I'm in Boston right now. It's quite cold, so it's not the most flattering appearance, and I'm sniffly. I'm by myself because I had a challenging situation with my family earlier. I'm gonna walk down here actually. I'm in the Boston, what is this called? There's a common and there's the park. I think this is called the common. This is where I went to school, just like right near this big park. So walking through here is always pretty nostalgic. And anyways, still trying to get my bearings. It's pretty much the same as when I was in school. There's a few things that have changed. We're gonna walk by the ice skating rink, which is always pretty nice to look at. Anyways, I had a challenging situation. I think I'm sure you can probably relate. Get triggered. You know, we all have our triggers. And usually we have triggers based on past pain. And I do all this self-work and I go home, and that's always a true test of our self-work, is what we're like with our family. And there are moments where I'm like, oh, you know, people are always complaining about family and getting triggered, and I feel like I am not one of those people. And then moments like today happen, and I'm so triggered and it's hard to even verbalize it. And that's actually why I decided to do this video. There's the ice skating rink. I think I only went ice skating there once. And I was with this weird friend who it was a guy, and I couldn't tell if he liked me romantically. I think he kind of did, but I don't know. He was definitely in the friend zone for me. We went ice skating there together, and it felt really romantic, which felt kind of awkward. I was in college. All right. So one thing I'm thinking a lot about today, doing a lot of pondering. First of all, when I get upset, especially with anyone I'm really close to, I tend to shut down a lot. Get very quiet, so I don't like conflict. And I've noticed lately that I tend to have romantic or family dynamics where I feel like I can't say anything. And this is really interesting too. Look at how they've just piled up the leaves everywhere. Anyways, I feel like safer when I can shut down and be quiet. I get very withdrawn. I notice that's a big, like, safety thing. And part of the reason I wanted to do this video is because, believe it or not, I have trouble expressing myself, and I doubt that people will care. I feel like I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I feel like I'm gonna be further criticized if I share what's on my heart. And one thing I've been thinking a lot about lately is doing things, but also probably mostly like content, like videos and posts, without overthinking them and worrying about how they're gonna be interpreted. And trying to just do what feels right in my heart. And that's kind of hard to figure out, what's right in our hearts, because whether it's family or friends or social media, people online, we have a lot of people that try to tell us that what we're saying or doing is wrong. And man, I don't know about you, but that really messes with my head. When I come home, I like to use it as an opportunity to try to figure out myself more, even when it's painful. And I think based on the way that I get triggered, that having like a very controlling mother and a mother that seems very selfish in a lot of ways. She shamed me a lot. She still shames me. My sister has a tendency to shame. I feel like sitting down for a second. I'm gonna walk into this pile of leaves. Sit down. Oh, I'm super sensitive to shame and criticism. It's very, very painful. And I noticed this over the past few weeks. I've had various instances where I felt like the safest, as I was saying, like the safest thing to do was to shut down. And the worst though is when I shut down to protect myself, and then the person that I'm shutting down from still, like, they're upset at me no matter what. I usually shut down because it feels safer than expressing myself and feeling shamed for what I'm saying, or feeling rejected for what I'm saying, or criticized, or someone's arguing with me. I do not like being in those situations, but it's really challenging to be with somebody, whether it's family, romantic, friends, where when I shut down, they basically get mad at me for shutting down. It really triggers me. Like, I think about that and I think of a romantic relationship I was in with a boyfriend years ago, and it's like I felt so incredibly unsafe with him because I just never felt like there was safety anywhere. It's making me a little teary-eyed thinking about that. And I feel that way a bit with my family. So, you know, I think like people come into our lives and we're attracted to certain people that we need to learn from. And like I noticed with my family, luckily for the most part, they'll let me retreat a lot. They'll let me kind of stew away and be by myself, like go into my room or something. They won't try to like convince me out of it. My dad will every once in a while. Sometimes my mom, my sister the most, she'll get really frustrated. She's definitely frustrated with me today. And I've just like gone completely inward. We were all supposed to, my mom, my sister, and my uncle and I came to Boston together tonight. We were all supposed to like do stuff together, and I just like literally lost myself in a crowd at one point and had been on my own for hours. And I don't really want to be on my own, but I haven't felt like responding to phone calls or text messages from them, and I'm on my way right now to meet up with them. And yet I'm choosing to sit on a bench. And it's like, I dread like, all I want to do is just sit with them and not say a word. I just want to be left alone. I don't want to be questioned, but I'm afraid I'm going to get there and they're going to shame me for withdrawing. And I think the thing is, like, I just don't, sometimes I just want to do what I want to do and not have anybody question it. Uh-oh, there's a police officer with bright lights coming towards me. I don't know. Am I not supposed to sit on this bench? Let's see what happens. I don't know all the rules in Massachusetts and Boston. Okay, good. They're driving by. I'm probably fine. It's a very safe city, so they're probably just driving by to check on things. Yeah, I just want to be able to be myself, and like, I don't like being questioned. I think that's like a big thing that I fear online. It makes it hard for me to express myself. It's like, every time I'm doing anything, you know, before I started shooting this video, I almost didn't, because I'm like afraid that I'm going to say something that someone's going to interpret as wrong, or I'm like, somebody's going to criticize the way I look, or, you know, it's like, I think the big thing that I want to practice in 2019, since it's almost the end of the year, believe it or not, I just want to be myself and like stop worrying so much about other people's opinions of me. But it's so tough because my family is so critical, so analytical. And it's really tough because my sister is leaving tomorrow and my uncle is leaving a few days after that, and I want to spend quality time with them. My uncle just texted, speaking of which. And you know, I wanna spend quality time with them, but it's just like a fear. Lots of fear. And it really sucks because you look around and you see all these amazing people, and people have been much worse childhoods than I do relatively, and much worse scenarios and friendships, people in their lives that are even more critical. And it's like, man, I have such a challenging time, and it wasn't even that bad. But it's all relative. We can only speak from our personal experiences. And I have compassion for people that struggle with expressing themselves, and I think it's becoming an even bigger issue these days because it feels like you can't post anything online without somebody disagreeing with you or criticizing you or picking you apart. Literally. I go and I watch YouTube videos, and it's like, it feels like there's always someone trying to argue. There's always someone putting someone else down, and it's just becoming this ongoing issue where people are desperate to be accepted and validated. And so everybody's creating content online, and there's so much insecurity, and I don't know. There's all of a sudden all these people around. Speaking of insecurity, it's awkward to do vulnerable videos like this in public. I'm gonna start walking to the restaurant. You know, my sister actually brought up a good point that I'm trying to practice. Yesterday, we were sitting at the table as a family, and my mom said something kind of mean to me, so I said something mean back, and then suddenly I was the one that said the worst mean thing. Ugh, now my dad's texting me. Oh my God. So this is the thing, like, I just want to be left alone, and what happens is my whole family won't leave me alone, and I'm upset. I'm a grown woman, and they still treat me like child in so many ways, and I'm sure that's just their way of showing that they care. But to me, that feels so incredibly selfish because, as ironic as this sounds, I want to do things my way, not their way. But what happens when I come home is I feel like I'm just being forced into their way of doing things. Like, I can't get along. I shouldn't say I can't. It's very challenging to get along with my mom because it feels like the only time that she's satisfied is if she's doing what she wants to do, even if it's not what you want to do. And it's like, you can't disagree with it. So that's why I just avoid being with my mom, and if I'm with her, I really can't open my mouth. And, you know, we're in Boston, and like, I just decided to do my own thing because I don't want to do her thing. But I've been doing my thing for a couple hours, and now I got my sister's friend texting me, and then my uncle's texting me, my sister's texting me, it's like they're all trying to check in on me. It's like, this is the city that I went to college in. It's like one of the safest cities in the States, and they're all concerned because I've been out of their sight for a few hours and haven't been responding. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's interesting when people are trying to show that they care, but it's kind of, in my opinion, like a weird version of selfishness when somebody's overly concerned about you when there's nothing to be worried about. I don't know. See, this is what I mean. I feel like I second guess. I'm just not allowed. Oh, it's an accident up there. Someone fell off their bike. They're okay. Anyways, I'm about to go into a crowded area. I feel like, I don't know if I should start turning off the comment sections, just never reading them. What's the point of even having a comment section on videos if you're not going to engage with people? I wouldn't be surprised if I start turning off the comment section, because like, if you guys want to talk to me, let's have a private conversation. I don't know. See? This is me second guessing myself a lot, not knowing how to express myself and how I want to. I think 2019 is going to be a big self-exploration, trying to figure out